The Utah boys who joined an African coup. Let's see this.
This is the story of two high school football players from Utah who got involved in an African coup and were sentenced to death in a military tribunal.
I just want to say this was so unskippable. Like, I tried to ignore this video when I saw it in my feed, but I was like, there's just no way this is true. There is no way this is a real story. Look at what this person just said. Two high school football players from Utah. This is American football to all those who don't know. American students who got involved in an African coup and were sentenced to death in a bro. This is genuinely unskippable. I'm sorry, but this is unskippable. I had to watch it.
Okay, that's not the catchiest title of all time. Maybe we'll just
But
call
it
it
is the
Congo
most interesting.
Confusion or
I'm not gonna lie.
The young men at the
It's
center of the
interesting.
story are Marcel Malanga and Tyler Thompson, students of the Copper Hills High School classes of 2020 and 2021, respectively. They came to know each other
Wait,
through the
what was
football team.
what was his last name? He comes from an African family. I'm not even lying. Deadass. He comes from an African family. And obviously, people are gonna say obviously because he's black. Nah, I mean, like, there are American last names. This is actually an African last name. I know this last name.
Of the Copper Hills High School classes of 2020 and 2021, respectively. They came to know each other through the football team, where they bonded over their similar intensity. But after high school, they went their separate ways. Marcel went to Southern Virginia University to play football, while Tyler stayed in Salt Lake City and worked as a DoorDash driver. And after his freshman year at SVU didn't work out, Marcel dropped out and returned to Utah, where he began reselling jewelry and cars through his company Cool Boys LLC. I don't really have a right to judge these guys. I'm a YouTuber, for God's sake. But everything changed for them in 2024, and it all has to do with Marcel's father, Christian Malanga. When Marcel was born, his parents were both living in Utah, but his dad was originally from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Like, what did I say, bro? What did I say? Like, I could tell from his last name, and I knew, like, I know that last name. I don't know this story, but I know that last name, bro. I know it.
That's right. Those of you who know and love my dictator videos will remember my coverage of the country that was previously known as Zaire.
Wait, let me see his
coverage of the.
Let me see his previous. The weirdest dictator in modern history, the greediest dictator in modern history, the craziest dictator in modern history. Oh shit! I know this guy. I actually know this guy. Not like. That shit sound like, oh shit, I know this guy. He's actually one of my uncle's best friends. Like, nah, I know of him, the lost guy. These other two, I have no idea who they are.
Country that was previously
they don't have the same attraction as this video, bro. The American what is it? The American Congo connection, bro. They don't have that, bro. Like, I'm telling you, this shit was. I had to click it. I had to watch it. I tried to. This video has been recommended to me probably throughout this entire week. The entire week, I've been seeing this video on my homepage. I was like, fine, let me see what it is. I tried to ignore it.
Zaire. That was still the case when Christian Malanga was born there in 1983, although the country was well on its way to collapse. When he was 10 years old, Christian and his family moved to a refugee camp in Swaziland, and 5 years later they moved to Salt Lake City as political refugees. So he grew up there, graduated high school, and eventually opened a car dealership, reportedly claiming to be the first black man to own a car dealership in Utah. Honestly, I would have believed you if you told me he was the first black man to enter Utah. At some point in this process, he met a woman named Brittany Sawyer, and the two.
I mean, we can say he's the first black man from Congo who is a political refugee to own a car dealership. Like, nobody can take that away from him, I think. I don't know.
Two of them had Marcel. But all was not normal in the Malanga family, as Christian was charged with a number of crimes in the early 2000s, including
Damn.
assault with a deadly weapon and 2 counts of domestic violence. By
Damn.
2006, he decided he was done with America and returned to his home country, now renamed the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And if you remember my dictator video, you'll recall.
Do y'all think he was done with America, or not saying he was running away from something in America?
That the Democratic Republic of the Congo was not at all democratic. It wasn't even much of a republic at this point, because it was still reeling from the Second Congo War, which killed somewhere around 5.5 million people. Sounds like the perfect time to move there. A lot of cheap real estate.
Wait, what was World War? No, there's no way. I don't know why in my mind I was like, damn, isn't that close to World War One or World War Two numbers? I think World War One or World War Two has double digits. Yeah, it has double digits. I can look this up, but I choose not to. Because why? I am making a statement that I'm correct, that it's not close, but it is high. 5.5 million people dead. RIP to them, but that is crazy. That is a crazy what?
Around
Second
5.5
Congo
million people.
War.
Sounds like
Congo
the perfect time
War,
to
not
move
World
there.
War,
A lot
Congo
of cheap
War.
real estate. Christian Malanga
man.
spent a few years in the Congolese military before founding a successful mining company. But he soon clashed with the country's president, Joseph Kabila, who was extremely corrupt, just like everyone who has ever run that country. Supposedly, Christian Malanga tried to run against Kabila and spoke out against voter fraud, which resulted in the government arresting him and torturing him for 10 days.
Oh my god.
This caused Christian to develop a limp and a passionate hatred for the government of his home country. So he founded the United Congolese Party and traveled the world building support for his unsanctioned political party. But while he was on that grind set, his son was growing up without a father in Salt Lake City. Although Christian did return to the United States a few times over the years. Not to pay his outstanding child support, but just to say hello. Marcel even visited his dad in Africa a few times, where he was treated like a king due to the success of Christian's mining company. During these trips, Christian would even provide Marcel with any drugs he wanted, which must have been a lovely father-son bonding experience. Pass the pipe, Dad. Needless to say, Marcel had a complex relationship with his father. On the one hand, he hated Christian for abandoning their family and not paying child support, but on the other hand, he loved him for providing him with narcotics. So how did everything go so wrong?
I mean, I don't think it's that simple. There's no... Often with like a child having one parent missing, it could either be the mother or the father. There is some hate and some love. You want to try your best to be who this person wants you to be, like who your father or your mother wants you to be, and you do this because you think this would make them want you again. This would make them come back to your family. So I don't think it's drugs. I don't think it's just drugs. That's a fucking dumb statement. I'm not gonna lie. That's a dumb statement. But yeah, if you know people who don't have both parents, like, I mean, I guess if they're open with you that they try to become whoever the other parent wants them to be, in their mind, they think this is how they get them back. This is how they get to be chosen again. But at the same time, they still hate them. Like, it's not an easy thing.
By 2022, Marcel was working at a construction and roofing company. I guess Cool Boys LLC was experiencing a bit of a downturn. But he and his father were cooking up some big plans. In 2023, Marcel began reaching out to his friends to see if anyone was interested in a job that would take them to Africa. And, unsurprisingly, nobody was. So Marcel started upping the incentives, eventually posting a selfie on his Snapchat story with the caption, "If you want to make 50 to 100K, message me. Warriors only." That's right, all the non-warriors in the Utah area need not apply. As I'm sure you can guess, the only one who took him up on the offer was his old high school football
You
teammate.
know what? The best way for him to present that shit, he should have just went back home and assuming from his father's success of owning a mine, which is if your mine is successful, just know you said your family is rich. Like there's no worry out there. He should have went back home to Africa. Went back to his father's home, actually, not his home. He's American. Um, should have went back to his father's home, like Congo. Went back to Congo and just showed off what I assume they have a mansion. Because if he doesn't have a mansion, I don't know. I don't know. In Africa, if you have dollars, like bro, you're set. You're set, especially from a mine. You're set. So I'm assuming there's a mansion. He should have went back home. Shit, hop on the gram, took a few selfies in the mansion, took a few selfies in even if renting a car. Like, bro, that would have convinced a lot of motherfuckers. I'm not gonna lie to you. Should have
Tyler
hit that
Thompson,
method.
who at this point was working at the same construction and roofing company as Marcel. But despite Marcel's Snapchat promise, Tyler agreed to do this for around 15 to 20K instead of 50 to 100. Gotta work on your negotiating, Ty. But regardless, they were now a team.
Month or
so
per
Marcel
year?
brought his old pal into the fold and revealed what he and his dad were planning. At this point, Christian Malanga was running what he considered to be a government in exile, based across the world and meeting in places like Brussels and Washington, D.C. He called this government New Zaire, repurposing the old flag as his own. I guess he was longing for the good old days of Mobutu, when the corruption was just as bad, but the president had a cool hat. As you can imagine, the ultimate plan was to overthrow the government of the DRC and create New Zaire. To do this, they would need weapons, which was somehow a responsibility that fell upon two American guys in their early 20s. So Marcel and Tyler went on a
I mean, it is easier for an American to get a gun. Yo, bro, being in the USA, bro, like getting a gun. I've never seen an easier process. The second easiest process is probably a criminal. Just ask another criminal, yeah, do you have a gun? And the other criminal say, yeah, I do have a gun. Pay me this much and you can have it. That is literally, it's that. And then there's America, I swear. And I'm saying this, I don't even fucking know the process of getting a gun in America. I'm just saying shit. I'm just saying shit that other people be saying, bro. But nah, I did through watching videos of people getting guns, it does seem like an easy process. In other countries, that process, one, either doesn't exist because you're not allowed to have a gun unless you are like there's special permissions for special people, I guess, or companies, or you're not allowed to own a gun. Simple as that. As a person, as a citizen, I'm speaking solely as a citizen. You're not allowed to have a gun.
series of side quests to gather weaponry. First, they purchased guns from a private seller in Utah, which they would try out at a local shooting range. Then Marcel flew to Los Angeles to buy a drone. This drone was normally used for shooting video, but a week later, Marcel purchased a flamethrower attachment to go with it. Meanwhile, Tyler bought another
This nigga
drone.
was bullshitting. That nigga was bullshitting, bro. What the fuck are you gonna do with a drone with a flamethrower? It's not. Drones are not quiet. Like the average drone, like these type of drones, DJI, whatever, those shits are not quiet. So you're expecting one, whoever you were attacking has to be fucking deaf, right? Let's do the thing. Enemy has to be deaf, right? That is clause one. You saying you are buying a drone. Enemy has to be deaf because they can't even fly high. Enemy has to be slow. You're putting a flamethrower on a drone. It's gonna. Drones are made specifically to hold their weight and some change. A flamethrower adds more than some change. Enemy has to be stupid. That is another clause that you would have to have in order to run the flamethrower. Now we don't know about Z Tyler or whoever this the white guy is. We don't know what his drone is about, but we're still on the flamethrower one. The enemy has to be stupid enough to die. He can be hurt. You know what I'm saying? He can be hurt by the surprise, I guess. But to die from it, the enemy has to be stupid. Actually, has to be stupid. What else can I add? I don't even know. I don't know what else I can add. Let's see what he has.
Drone with a release mechanism, planning to use it to drop bombs. To acquire these bombs,
It's smarter in the fact that one, the clauses I presented still stand. Enemy has to be deaf. Okay, the enemy still has to be deaf. Now, the one with the bomb has a bigger surprise effect. It is a better plan. Better plan overall, and a more of a surprise. The flamethrower one, people can run away. This one, the enemy's gonna look at it and see, oh, it's a drone. Let's shoot it down. And then when they shoot it down, chances are bomb can be missed. There's a chance that the bomb will be missed and will drop and explode, making it effective at the same time. So the possibility of working this one is higher than the other one. There's no way I'm being killed by a commercial. I'm being specific. Like, don't judge me saying drone. I know there's very good drones. I'm saying commercially available drones, right? That you buy. There's ones that you can build. Like I've seen drones go up to mountain height that are not even bigger than an iPad. I think it was an FPV drone. I may be mistaken, but it went up that high. But add a flamethrower to that bitch, it's not going that high. You're not killing anybody. But add a bomb to that same drone, hey, you gonna get one person. One kill guarantee. One kill guarantee. At least that is my bet, bro. It is a better plan. It is a better plan than his drone. The white guy's drone is better than Marcel. I say white guy because I forgot his name. This is Marcel. I forgot what his name is. Forgot the white guy's name is.
they visited a man named Pete Moser, who was an old friend of Christian Malonga's. Christian had already briefed him about the plan, with documents later revealing a text exchange in which Christian said, "In the next month, my team and I will be ready for change in DRC." To which Moser replied, "What are you talking about? The Congo Special?" Prompting the reply, "Yes, Pete, the Congo Special." For God's sake, Pete, keep your voice down about the Congo Special. Pete Moser helped the boys assemble the drones and taught them the basics of making a pipe bomb.
Oh, wait, assembled? Okay. It may not be just commercial drones. It may be actual drones. The fire throwers, fire, the fire thing is still a bit iffy, but hey, if it's not commercial, there's a chance of it doing some actual work. Especially in Congo, there's a lot of foliage. If you can cause a fire in, big forest fire in the general direction of the enemy or when the enemy is there, could prove to be effective.
He had gathered all the materials, including shrapnel for extra damage, and said he would ship it all to Africa for the boys to pick up. All they had to do was get gunpowder and assemble the bombs once they were there.
Wait, why do they have to ship it over instead of just getting the instructions and doing it in Africa? The dad already owns mining company, so he does have access to, I assume, like explosive material. Obviously, he doesn't want to do it under his company. I understand that, but you know what I'm saying? He still knows who can get shit done. Well, what's the difficulty about building a bomb in Africa versus in America? Why do you need to send it over? I'm just thinking out loud. I'm like, why? Why? Is it? I'm not even gonna ask that question. I was gonna say, is it really that hard? But nah, I'm not trying to have no terrorists commenting in my on my videos, bro. They come, he's gonna come be like, actually, it's quite difficult building like you would need certain like, bro, yo, I don't need that type of traction, bro. I don't need that type of traction on my channel.
there. So, in April of 2024, with everything ready to go, the boys packed their bags and Tyler's mom drove them to Salt Lake Airport.
Tyler, the white dude, that's his name. This is Tyler. This is Marcel. I don't know why I forgot.
For a flight to South Africa. In those bags were some drones, 2 handguns, and a
Oh my
flamethrower.
gosh. Oh
Tyler
my
told his mom he
gosh.
was getting a free trip to South Africa to help Christian make drone maps of his mining operation. She later said, "I honestly thought it was going to be a great growing experience for him." All right, be safe, son. Don't forget your flamethrower. The boys flew to South Africa and actually spent 2 weeks just seeing the sights. Glad they found time to enjoy themselves before launching a coup on a foreign government. But instead of flying home to Utah afterwards, they flew to Angola and paid someone to drive them to the border of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. There, Marcel reunited with his father, and they all drove to the nation's capital, Kinshasa. Tyler told his parents that he had caught malaria, and Christian agreed to extend the trip so they could get the mapping done. All right, son, good luck with the malaria. Say hi to your friend's absentee father. In a safe house on the outskirts of Kinshasa, Christian and
Is that a Draco or is that an? No, I think that's an AK, right? Is this an AK with a foldable stock or? I don't even know, bro. I don't know guns, man. Yeah, I think that's the stock. There's the stock right there. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's the stock. The stock is the thing that goes at the back of a gun to make it more stable. I don't know. I'm using video game logic, bro. I'm using video game logic, bro. It's to make it more stable, bro. It reduces the recoil. So instead of ga 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 ga, it goes to da 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 da. Yeah, that completely makes sense to me. So moving
the
on.
boys assembled pipe bombs and finished planning the coup.
What is this? What is this one? What is this? Any? Never mind, bro. I can't even ask certain questions, bro. It's gonna be like, damn, bro. They're gonna be reporting my videos. I'm encouraging terrorism
With
or
them was
something.
actually one other American, Christian's right-hand man, Benjamin Zalman Polan. Christian and Benjamin met at an international business conference in DC 10 years prior, and I guess they started planning some international business of their own. But still, they needed more muscle than 4 guys. Christian had already
Facts.
recruited a few locals, and those guys then went to a nearby village and filled a bus with random volunteers who agreed to join the cause. Probably just for money, considering that 2 of them refused to participate after Christian gave a motivational speech to the group explaining the plan.
Yo, yo, the 2 smartest, one of the smartest people in fucking Congo. The 2 smartest people, or 2 of the smartest people in Congo. They heard this nigga's speech as like, hey man, I don't know about y'all. We not doing this, okay? We're not doing this shit. Listen, we need the money. We don't need it this bad. We don't need it this bad. We're going home. All right? Y'all, good luck with that, but we're going home. Now, did they actually make it home is a different conversation. Because if you heard what I just said, like me, imagine I'm leading a resistance, and I give a grand speech about what we're gonna do. And now these two people say, "Yeah, gang, deuces, we're not doing this shit." Fries that. Those are two potential leaks. And as I'm saying this, I don't know why I'm thinking about this so much. Yeah, nah, let's just leave that. Let's leave it, huh? Let's leave it.
An enraged Christian allegedly stabbed one of the defectors in response, which I'm
Oh
sure
my
was a
god.
sign to everyone else that they were fighting for a good cause. To reassure the group, Christian told them that the coup was being backed by the United States. See, look, they sent us two 21-year-olds. Apparently, the American government also didn't send any equipment, because Christian had his group raid a nearby police station, where they stole a few AK-47s, and Christian assaulted a female officer for good measure. They also had to steal a bus from a local
Wait,
university.
why is he there himself? Do they actually have like such few people that he has to come on basically supply missions? One of the riskiest things about of these type of things, resistance or terrorism, is getting supplies, especially gun supplies or bomb supplies. Or getting bomb supplies is the supply missions. Those are one of the riskiest ones. Why would the leader of the resistance be? I mean, I assume he was at the back or in the bus waiting and like, yo, is it done? Then he came to, like, that was such a dumb thing to do.
After Christian's previous bus driver fled in the middle of the night. Seems like
Shh.
a real tight-knit
Hey, another smart guy right there. Smart guy right there.
squad he put together. Christian even had the men surround a civilian's Land Rover, at which point Christian shot the civilian in the head and stole his vehicle. Don't worry, it's a group bonding exercise.
Bruh.
Finally, it was time for the action to begin.
Wait, is this his mind? I don't think has any connections beyond Congo. Yeah, I don't, bruh. The way he's moving, like, obviously, I'm not gonna say you should take his money that he made and buy just new cars and nah, 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 nah. Like, but you can, if his mind is successful as the way I thought, like you could find cars, you can get supplies, bro. Money literally makes people do the most vile things in the world. Like you can get things done. I guess his mind is not as successful as I thought. He's not even the cartel has. No, I'm not actually. I don't know. Let me not say some bullshit. I don't
On May
know.
19th, 2024, they launched a coup that set out to kill not only the president of the DRC, but the defense minister and economic minister too. By this time,
Actually, not even a bad plan. It's not even a bad plan from the outside looking in. From there, let me clarify from the outside looking in. These are quote unquote supposed to be trusted figures in the country. Like almost in any country, these are supposed to be trusted figures outside, of course, the president. Not even a bad plan. Wait, it actually is. I don't know, bro.
the president was fielding
Sometimes I just be saying shit thinking it's a good plan, but sometimes it's not a good plan. Why kill the guy who knows about the country's money? But again, it goes back to me saying those are trusted figures and they might be promoted to a higher position. Like if the country were to suddenly lose its president, if there's no vice president, then they look to the next in command. They won't hold an election. They look at the other leaders in the government or in whatever. So those two are trusted. Yeah, I was right. Why did I discredit myself? I was fucking right, bro. I was fucking right. It was a good plan because those are trusted figures in the government or supposed to be trusted figures in the government. So if the president were to die, if this guy were to die, then those people, if there's no vice president, those are the next runner ups temporarily. temporarily until the next election or the next emergency election. I don't know.
Tshisekedi, who was, you guessed it, also corrupt. Joseph Kabila had made a secret deal with Tshisekedi.
Oh, this is the president. Those were high ranking officials, whatever they said earlier.
To rig the election in his favor after several attempts by Kabila to rewrite the constitution so he could serve more terms. Yeah, this country's in great shape, guys. Anyway, the coup began with Christian and his militia showing up at the house.
Not gonna lie. Congo is sounding like America right now. Congo is. Oh my God. Hey, we getting a lot of familiar connections right now.
Of the defense minister at about 4:30
It's not as
in the
bad though,
morning,
but it is
only
looking
to
bad.
discover that he wasn't home. Off to a great start. So they went to the economic minister's house and started firing bullets into it. 2 guards were killed in the process, but other guards were able to fight back. Tyler Thompson tried to pilot a drone into the house, but couldn't do it because it was too dark. Thanks, Ty. Glad you spent months learning how to do that. The security guards were defending the property so well that Christian decided to skip the ministers altogether and just go after the president. So they went to the Palace of the Nation, the president's residence, and stormed.
Holy shit! Hey, it's not a bad palace. Is it at does it have a beachfront view or am I tripping? The image is blown out. But yo, it's not even bad looking, yo. Palace of the Nation.
To the group's surprise, there were very few guards. So they quickly got comfortable, making themselves at home in the palace and taking to social media to announce their coup. Because if you don't post your hostile takeover, did it really happen? Benjamin started live streaming it to Facebook, which is where we get this lovely image of Christian and Marcel inside the building. Now that's one for the mantle. Christian said on the live stream, "Felix, you are out. We are coming for you." At this point, everyone was feeling great. But despite how comfortable Marcel might look in this photo, the good times did not last. Because at about 5:15 a.m., the DRC military arrived on the scene. Christian had convinced everyone that the military...
Yeah, boy, they gonna fuck y'all. anytime you see this Toyota, just know the niggas coming for you. They gonna fuck y'all up, bro. I'm not like dead ass. If you see a Toyota like this coming for you, and these niggas have guns, just know those people are shooting every single thing they have at you. Look at bro. I don't even know what gun this is. And I don't even know what gun this is. Yo, these niggas are finna, bro, they're finna, they're about to lay, yo, they're actually about to fucking, yo, I ain't gonna lie, this Toyota came after me personally, shit, I'm out. I'm out, bro, yo.
DRC military arrived on the scene. Christian had convinced everyone that the military would lay down their arms and join the coup, strengthening the group.
How do you do a coup without the military? I'm not gonna say everybody, every single one I have heard of like an African coup, the military was involved. Like they needed the military to be part of their plan. Every single one I've heard of, again, clarifying that. Like how was he gonna do this without the military?
And allowing them to take the country. Unfortunately for them, none of that happened. The military fired artillery at the palace before storming the building, which prompted most of the men in Christian's group to quickly surrender. And in a matter of minutes,
I would have done the same. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. To be honest, I would have chosen self-deletion. Not gonna lie. I would have chosen self-deletion. If you know, you know. I am not getting tortured. I'm not doing that, gang. I'm not doing that. I'm not going down in a firefight between the fucking Congo military who has a tank shooting it into the palace of the nation. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting tortured. Respectfully. I'm putting that gun to the cranium. So I mean, I'm honest about that. If I ever, I'm not even gonna say.
The military had easily
That's me being
defeated
honest,
the
bro.
random coalition of poorly trained villagers and corn-fed Utah boys who were expecting to take over a country of 125 million people. And I'm sorry to break this news to you guys, but in the scuffle between the military and the rebels, Christian Malanga was killed. May his memory be a blessing. But in a shocking twist, Marcel Malanga, Tyler Thompson, and late series addition Benjamin Zalman Poland actually managed to escape in the chaos. They ran out of the building towards the nearby Congo River, which separates the Democratic Republic of the Congo from the neighboring Republic of the Congo. Yes, the DRC has a Wario that's somehow even less democratic than them. But despite their best efforts to escape to an even worse country, our American heroes quickly realized that the Congo River was way too dangerous to cross. All they could do was hide in the bushes and hope that the military wouldn't find them. Marcel apparently took this opportunity to snap a friend of his in Utah. Wish you were here. Might lose our streak soon, by the way. And soon enough, they were captured with the rest of the survivors. The entire coup amounted to 7 deaths, consisting of 2 security guards, 1 civilian, 3 rebels, and 1 Christian Malanga. And with his father dead, Marcel Malanga now found himself trapped in a Congolese prison cell with his old high school punt returner. Okay, that's a bit disingenuous. He took most of his reps at safety. While they were being held, the rest of the world discovered what had happened. The news of Americans being involved confused many people online, with some accusing the boys of being agents of the CIA or Mossad. In reality, they were closer to the Church of Latter-day Saints, and the people who were most shocked were Marcel and Tyler's mothers. Brittany Sawyer showed up at Tyler's mom's house and said, "I don't know how to tell you this. The boys were taken into custody. They've been beaten and they're being tortured." Oh no, and Tyler has malaria. It was 3 weeks after the failed coup that the boys were seen again, when the military tribunal against them began. They were tried alongside Benjamin and 48 other co-conspirators in a trial that took place entirely outdoors under a tarp. Because the real crime would be sitting in a courtroom all day and missing out on this lovely Congo weather. Some of the people tried weren't even involved in the coup, such as a Belgian Congolese researcher who was charged because there was one picture of him and Christian taken back in 2016.
My God.
But when you're having a trial this big, you might as well toss all your political...
Yo, this nigga got hold. I'm not gonna lie to you, he got hold. Wow. This is the fucking Epstein method, bro. This is the Epstein method, bro. Oh my gosh, I have never seen such a hold individual than this man over here. Oh my gosh. He knew it too. Look at him. He knew the Epstein method. Oh my God.
In 2016. But when you're having a trial this big, you might as well toss all your political enemies in there and kill 51 birds with one stone. In the trial, our troubled Americans were charged with weapons possession, terrorism, murder, and attempted assassination. What are you guys smiling about, huh? It's not funny. Sorry, I thought these boys could use a father figure. Unsurprisingly, they all claimed that they were forced into this and that Christian woke them up at gunpoint on the morning of the coup. And knowing Christian, that honestly might be true. But the evidence of Tyler and Marcel flying to Africa with guns and a flamethrower doesn't exactly help their case. In the trial, Marcel claimed he hadn't fired a weapon since he was 5 years old, even though his Instagram had a picture of him at a shooting range with the hashtag #TrainToKill. Your Honor, that was a commentary on railroad violence. Unfortunately, the translator they provided for the boys barely spoke English, so nothing they said really mattered at all. In the end, 37 of the 51 defendants were sentenced to death, including Marcel, Tyler, and Benjamin. Gosh. That researcher also got the death penalty, by the way. Shouldn't have taken that picture 8 years ago. But when all hope was lost for the boys, one lucky terrorist attack saved them. While they were appealing their death sentences, the paramilitary group M23, backed by Rwanda, invaded the DRC with...
Did you hear that? Paramilitary. Military. And what did I say? What did I say about these Toyotas? Y'all thought I was tripping, right? Y'all thought I was like, oh yeah, he's just yapping. Look. This is what I was yapping about. This is what I was yapping about. If these Toyotas are coming to you, just know those niggas are putting every single bullet they... Yo, I don't even know if they succeeded or failed, but that doesn't matter because I was right. You need the military. You need these Toyotas. Toyota is a... Why does this Toyota look so brand new? Like, if you look at images from fucking the Middle East, like there's Toyotas, but their Toyotas don't look this brand new. What is going on? By the way, to all those who don't know, Toyota does make... I'm not going to speak about this model because I don't know, but they do make cars that are like... There could be a 2026 car, but the design, the engine, everything has been unchanged since fucking 19 something or 2000 something, whatever. Right? It's that old. They don't make it modern. They don't make it anything. Whatever worked, and they'll release it as 2026 because people want them, right? The only thing they change is probably if like they somehow made the engine be able to last longer or to comply with emissions or anything of that. So it's possible this car can be brand new because they do make brand new models of old cars. And holy shit, that shit looks brand spanking new. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wow.
an attack that killed over 3,000 people.
Oh
So,
my
with the
gosh.
country facing a
RIP
third
to
Congo
them.
war against an enemy funded by their neighbor, they turned to the United States for help. The DRC promised the US government access to their valuable mineral deposits in exchange for some security. But when you're negotiating with another country, it's not a great look to have some of that country's citizens on death row. And in case the DRC wasn't getting the message, Adam Bowler, the US government's special envoy to hostage response, directly tweeted about it, saying, "The president of Congo is holding 3 Americans now. Perhaps it would be better if Rwanda won the war?" Which is a little bit heavy-handed, but it
Wow.
did get the point across.
Why would you
On April
even
8,
say that?
2025, the boys were rounded up and shipped back to the United States as a gesture of goodwill. Upon their return, they were met with triumphant cheers, given free F-150s, and hoisted onto Marco Rubio's shoulders.
This has to be a fucking lie. There's no way. There's no way. It has to be this guy trolling. Like, there's no way. If this is true, I'm not even gonna say what I want to say. Because I would be trolling if I said what I want to say. Because nah, I'm saying this is cap. It's trolling.
I'm kidding. They were arrested and sent to prison. Look,
Thank
we'll get
God.
you home, but you still...
You never know. You never know nowadays, bro. You never know. We've seen people. You never know.
attempted to overthrow a foreign government. The 3 men were charged with a number of crimes, as was good old Pete Moser. You can't even purchase and ship the ingredients to construct a pipe bomb in our fascist surveillance state. All 4 of them pleaded not guilty, and they're actually still waiting for that trial to begin as of this video's release. Sorry to leave you guys in suspense,
Crazy.
but it looks like the trial's gonna
Crazy.
take a while, and I wanted to get this video out. So for now, our old high school teammates are back in Utah, except they're in the Weber County Correctional Facility awaiting their fate.
Is this not a crazy trio though? We have an African American, a white guy, and what I assume to be an Arabic individual. Is that not a crazy trio of of people to be? Yo, I just know when they got back, the government was like, "What the fuck are we supposed to do with this trio? What are we supposed to do with this trio?" Like,
In a recent
It's
phone call
crazy.
with reporter Greg Donahue, Marcel revealed that he and Tyler are still close, saying, quote, "I consider him a brother. This hasn't affected us at all. And why should it? If anything, it was a bonding experience. Two teammates joining forces to fight for the liberation of a country they love in honor of their own heritage." Well, at least that's why Marcel was doing it. Tyler was doing it for the price of a Nissan Sentra. And even though Marcel lost his father in the process, he can always remember him through the memories they made storming the Capitol and murdering civilians. He can also remember him through Christian Malanga's Flickr account, which is still online and contains 500 photos. Wow. Imagine if he put this much care into being a father.
Low key, him and his dad are the same. Like they post a lot of things they do. They post like Marcel was still on Snapchat while running away. Like they post a lot of the same things they do, like the things they do online.
Now please consider subscribing, or I'll activate the Congo special.
Hey, this I'm glad I didn't ignore this video. This was obviously sad to hear about what happened to a lot of it. First of all, 5.5 million people died in the second Congo war. I didn't even know that shit. But wow, this was actually a good video. It's Chio, and I'm out of here.